Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, Sunday edition, season 6, episode 36. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Beer Baron and Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios in beautiful New Jersey. With the Mountain View.
Tornado-bound New Jersey, apparently.
Yes, with the mountain view of the tornadoes and Scotty's palatial estates in beautiful Beverly Hills, California, where the flux capacitor lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I might have to actually put on the air conditioning after this. Remove the old jerseys, and then voila! Woo! Classy wall unit AC. Not even central air. Yeah, I'm living it up over here. 90211. Beer Band, I don't think your mic is on.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah. Well, little technical difficulties.
How about now?
Oh, sounds great.
There he is.
Establishing the connection. Sorry, I was just saying it's a good thing your apartment's the size of a shoebox. So.
Yeah, it really is. It's good for it to trap all that heat in this small area.
Must be all the asbestos. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it'll clear out. Don't worry.
Yeah, what are those chips
Nothing
on
to
the
see
ground?
here.
It'll be okay.
Move on. Nothing to see here.
So yeah, boys. Good.
Welcome
good
back,
day
Sam.
To talk to you. Yeah, welcome back, Sam. Good to see you, bud.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I took a hiatus last week.
Yeah, and even
Well,
you
sort
went
of.
on
You
a
were
little
you were
trip.
still there.
I heard you went down to Philadelphia. You were eating seafood. I mean, we had a lot of people wondering, did you stick to your salad diet, Sam Wu? You know, that was a big question up on the social media there. What was Sam Wu eating, and was Mrs. Wu okay with it?
She locked the front door, and I couldn't get inside.
You had that extra bacon salad that we had again?
Well, right now I have a sandwich right in front of me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Triple decker.
Yeah.
Triple decker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a little sandwich right here.
How do you have
Okay.
a triple decker but very lean in between? Like, what was that? Triple decker peanut butter and jelly? Like, who just wants that much bread? You know, cut the carbs out and you'll be doing better.
I like my PB&J Big Mac style. You know, 3. I want the triple decker.
How do you like your PB&J? Give me a triple. Give me a triple. So I like it. Make it neat.
Well, Sam,
dirty PB&J.
Did you have a good trip down to Philly?
Yeah, I met Trey Matthews of Locked On Devils podcast. Had a good
Great
conversation with him, and he's actually out in Europe right now.
Fancy
went out.
man.
Yeah. So he's out in France. So we talked, blah 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 blah, and he goes to Arizona State University. So we were talking about Arizona, we're talking about the mullet, and we're talking about all sorts of stuff. Talking Devils hockey, also development camp that just happened this past week, and he was telling me some good stuff of some of the prospects that we're playing. We've got some pretty nice ones in Seamus Casey and Josh.
Oh,
Fulton.
dude, couple of them.
Yeah.
A couple of
Yeah,
them.
that's
for sure.
That's one thing that has not been lacking in the Tom Fitzgerald era, and that is having depth at the prospects. Yeah, depth and prospects. It seems now we never know how any of these are going to turn out. We've all seen other things happen. Case in point, someone like Ty Smith, who ended up getting traded last year. This year it was Riley Walsh, who we all had big hopes for two-way offensive defenseman. And it ended up being a little trade action there because, he kind of fell behind Nemec and Luke Hughes. So one thing that Fitzgerald has always done a good job at and has really, I think, prided himself in is building up the depth within this system with some really stellar drafting. And again, this year did a great job even without a first-round pick. I thought we got some really good stuff. And the prospects at camp, we're turning some heads. Now, All right, and I gotta ask Beer Baron because he was texting us, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" And maybe everyone else there on the YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and everything like that, were those long black socks or were those like long black pants? Like, what the hell were those? Were they like some sort of like shin protecting pants or something like that? They look so weird.
No, dude, I think they were the black socks, and like I didn't understand. And this is okay. We'll talk a little bit more about the development camp itself, but when the
we will. Yeah, of course.
When they first started coming out, I was like, why are they rocking the black pants with the black socks? With no stripe, no nothing on it. Like just generic black.
The roller hockey pants.
Black on
That's
black.
what they look like.
That's what they look like.
Yeah.
But they were like black socks because you could see them taped up. It was just, I don't know what, it was like a weird look. And I was like, are they, because there's a New Jersey, it's FanDuel now, right? Do you think FanDuel made some changes to the uniform that we're not aware of that they haven't like released yet?
I hope not. I'm still not sold that those are socks. I'm thinking they're the old like roller hockey pants, like Shane was saying. Like they just looked weird. I'm like, is this what you got to wait to get your socks? Like no prospect. You don't get socks until you get to the real team over here. Then you get your striped socks. But now like you got to wear the roller hockey pants.
Oh. Shane, that's so true. That weird time when in the NHL where dudes were wearing pants, like pants, not hockey pants. They're wearing like pants, like they were wearing like bell bottom slacks down there. Yeah. Next, they're gonna get the start wearing jorts
over the skates,
like the figure dancing, the figure skating. How they wear those like spandex over the top of their skates.
Doing the Travolta staying alive down the ice and stuff like that,
That's why they only won 2 cups back then. They could have won more if they didn't get into those damn pants.
Oh man. Yeah, they looked weird. Well, whatever the hell they were, socks, roller hockey pants, whatever the hell they were. They looked weird as hell out there.
Steven.
What did he say? Wear caps and sleeves.
We wear caps and sleeves in this league, son. I don't know what you used to do in the California Penal League, but we wear caps and sleeves in this league.
Hey guys! Big shout out to Ethan Fink of pucksandpitchforks.com chiming in on the YouTube live. Hey, I love the title. He wrote the article, inspired this podcast title. Actually, are the Devils Cup contenders in 2024? So I just want to give a shout out to him because we'll talk a little bit more about him and his article, on Saturday when it came out on Pucks.
That's Eaton. Don't call me Barton Fink.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There you go. Well, Coen Brother reference for you there.
There you go. Yeah, but dude, overall the camp was great. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the 3-on-3 tournament, but I think that's my favorite part of the camp, and I love that they actually broadcasted that out. Team White won this year. It was 4-3 was the final. It was really fun to watch. It's really fun to see the young kids go out there and just have a lot of fun, just kind of like opening it up and playing. And I love the fact that they actually bring in Matt Laughlin to do the play-by-play. It's really cool. It gives you a sneak peek of some of these guys because most of these guys are going to go back to either their minor league teams or some go back to college. And, they kind of like Seamus Casey, like out of sight, out of mind. Unless you're really like watching closely to what these guys are doing in their other leagues and, you're not really paying attention to what the Comets are doing. You don't see these guys for a while. Some of them you'll see them in the development camp. And then like a couple years later, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. But there are a few that could possibly, I don't know, make an impact relatively soon, or it feels like they could make an impact relatively soon. And, we talked about Josh Philman, Seamus Casey. Yeah, Seamus Casey. And that's the thing, too. And I forget who said it.
And Stillman, too.
And Stillman. And by the way, Stillman didn't skate, but he was out there in a leadership role. So it was kind of cool that he had corrective surgery. He had, what the heck is it called? Something wrong with his nose. What the heck is that called when they not nasal a rhinoplasty? Passage. Yeah, something with the nasal passage.
He went to Tom's rhinoplasty in South Park, Colorado. Is that where he went to?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You got a little nose job before camp. You don't want to look good. No, but he just had a procedure done.
10 million space bucks. Well, she gets back her old nose.
What's the combination? 1, 2, 3, 4. Something an idiot would have on his.
It's amazing. It's the same septum. Combination I have on my luggage.
Thank you, Josh. A deviated septum. So yeah, he was not able to participate in the camp, but he was still there in a leadership role, which I thought was really cool. There's a couple guys that were off ice that were taking part in it, but overall, it was really cool to see. It was really cool to watch. I know we'll try to dive a little bit deeper into some of the prospects as we go along. Not just this podcast, but future podcasts. We have a whole off season, guys. We don't want to, just go through the whole rigmarole in one night. So we'll kind of dissect a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, I know one thing. I was reading a lot about Chase Stillman, like you said, being there in a leadership role, and love that. As looking for to kind of revamp that Utica team, because we've seen a lot of people move up, shipped out. They need some more leaders down there. And Seamus Casey's going to go back to Michigan. He's not there yet, but Chase Stillman, if he doesn't make the team, if he doesn't make the big club, he's going to be down there in Utica. And it's good to have that sort of leadership, even from such a young individual down there on that team, and also prepping him for hopefully an eventual run at the NHL level. We'll see how he develops. Of course, like we said, no prospect is a sure shot. You never know. You never know. But we do have a lot of good ones. Philman, like you said, Seamus Casey also really displaying some leadership qualities on the ice and off the ice. I didn't know this, but he's working with I think it's Eric Weinrich. I think he's working with as like kind of almost like a personal coach, not only in developmental camp, but also I think Eric is going out. If I read that correctly, Eric is going out to Michigan a couple times a year just to catch up with Seamus and see how he was doing. And I love the fact that if oh man, why is her name? Who is our Sam Wu? Who is our name of our head of developmental? Why can't I remember her name?
Megan Dugan.
Megan Dugan. Yes, saw a great interview with her. Thank you, Sam. Talking about.
I mean, I helped her as an assist there.
An assist to you. Thank you. Primary assist right there to Beer Baron. Talking about come ready to compete. Don't come in here lollygagging around. Come in here and use every day as an opportunity. I love that. I love that sort of mindset of work hard all the time. They had them go out and do some charity work at the hospitals around there. And I believe Seamus Casey, it was his older brother or his younger brother. I think might have had they were testing him for leukemia when he was younger, and I believe he was at the Barnabas Hospital, one of the hospitals around there in New Jersey. Is actually where his brother went to get treatment. So it was kind of like a full circle thing that he was going out there and visiting the patients. And then they did that great thing where they sent him out to the Army boot camp. And I'm sure that was a hell of a bonding. Yeah, I love that. I mean, obviously that runs right in there with our good buddy Nico Heischer, who we know trained with the Swiss military in the off season.
Technically served.
And technically, well, I think everybody in Switzerland. Where's old Dave? I think you have to serve. Yeah. So, but I love that idea of them just bonding together, going through, the hikes and the boot camp and all the trainings and everything like that. It's just a good way to challenge people and for them to come together and for some of that natural leadership to come out from a Casey, from a Stillman, maybe from others, who knows? But I loved everything about that. And yeah, those were the two that I really saw a lot on, was the Seamus Casey and Chase Stillman.
Now, hold on. I'm trying to look for something as we're talking right now. Boop, found it. Now I can find it. Come on. Sorry, my phone is acting extremely slow today. There was another their second round pick. I want to say their first pick from this past draft. Now I'm going to butcher his name because that's just how I do it. Lenny. How many? I don't even want to say the last name because I'm gonna screw this up so bad.
Namehaho?
Hamanio? Hamano?
Lenny Lenape? Oh.
Lenny. At least you did it, not me.
Leaping Lenny Poffo?
That guy. Yeah, but he was really standing out. Squires too. Cam Squires was another guy that they just recently drafted, who is also I think he scored 2 goals in the scrimmage, the red and white scrimmage at the end there. But it's, I mean, like, listen, the one good thing that you're seeing from the Devils is you're seeing a depth of player that, because there's already a really good selection of guys that are on the AHL roster that were not at the development camp. There's also going to be, depth that's going to be coming up for a couple of years to come. Defensively, like, looking at, you keep saying Seamus Casey over and over again. I think if it wasn't for Luke Hughes and for Nemec, you would be saying his name a lot more in the way of saying, like, he is the top defensive present tense of being the top defensive prospect in the system. Obviously, he's got those other two to compete with, but overall, I think they're going to be in good shape
soon. They're going to be regulars. So,
regulars.
It shouldn't be too long until Seamus Casey is considered the top defensive prospect. By the way, that was Nork Beth Israel. I found that article that I was reading.
Vowels.
Hamen
Aho. Thank you, the Mad Ronan.
What was it? What was Seamus Casey's brother's name? Damn it! Now I can't. Ben or Steven. Ben and Seamus. Yeah, Steven Casey.
Check on the luggage. It's probably on the luggage.
Yeah. Nork
Samsonite.
I was way off.
Right here.
But Nork Beth Israel, that's where his brother was treated. And then they were doing, charity work, going around and doing hospital visits, stuff like that. I love that, all around. Just the play, the mentality of coming ready, being prepared, use your opportunities, getting out and doing that other side of hockey. And then the bonding, that comes from doing those sort of boot camp exercises and stuff like that, where you're working together as a team to get through some things. If you saw any video of it, they did the hike, they were helping each other out across these cross beams and everything. So, and
can we also talk about the goaltending prospect, Jacob Milik? The guy is like 9 feet tall, and there's a lot of people that are like, oh, he's got like the same size as like Vasilevsky or something like that. And I'm like, all right, that's cool and all. Maybe he'll develop into that if we get lucky. But he is an absolute giant standing next to the net.
I think they said Ben Bishop. I don't think it was Vasilevsky.
Ben Bishop. Yeah. That kind of like more of that kind of style.
Yeah.
But huge. The kid's huge. Absolutely huge. I also love the fact that he rocks 85 as a goaltender. That might just be like one of those numbers that they gave to him, because in these camps and like stuff like that, they usually just give people like random numbers and stuff like that. But it's fun, man. It's fun to watch. It's fun to see all these guys kind of come out and do their thing. The Devils also, I think, in between last podcast and this podcast, have made a signing, and they have signed.
I need too many vowels. I just saw that.
Yeah. They signed Chris Tierney. Chris Tierney to a 1-year, 2-way deal.
Tierney.
Chris Tierney, former teammate of Timo Myers. So played with him in San Jose. Lots of crazy speculation, which, why this might be, why they made this signing. Is it a move that could protect in case of something happening, or is it just looking for some depth in the bottom part of the roster? I
think it's a little bit of both.
I think it could be a little bit of both. I don't think.
If you look at the AHL team, we're a little weak down the center, right now. So
I think it's like bolstering up the middle of the ice there. I don't want to read too much into it, but we'll just say that's the reason why, right? Right, Sam? Is that why you popped up?
Hey, you brought it up, not me.
Was there a news report that we didn't see yet? I mean, everyone. I think everyone is fully. Yeah, everyone's fully aware that the Hockey Canada scandal and everything like that, and things are starting to come to fruition in the terms of conclusions by investigations. I believe the NHL now has the stuff, or it's complete. I don't know exactly. I feel like every article I read about it, there's like something's like a little bit different. But we should be starting to hear, or maybe the NHL has their investigation and they're putting together their recommendations for suspensions or something like that. So we're getting prepared, and teams are getting prepared for what's going to go on with that situation. And we all know there is one player here on the Devils who may or may not have been involved. We don't know. We really don't know. But we're going to find out. This player happens to play center as well, and it would be a big hit for this team. From what he does defensively, from what he does with some occasional secondary scoring, but the big thing is the old face-off circle as well, where he is an absolute dominant force. And losing him as part of those pairings down the middle with Nico, is Jack going to play center? How much is he going to improve on his? Because his big thing at center is face-off circle. He's bad. Eric Hall, we know is good. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I'm reading through all the wonderful comments on on YouTube Live right now, and first of all, Steve said he played pickleball with Jeremy Brodeur, which we need to hear more about that. So please do tell in the comment section about how you played pickleball with Brodeur. How was he? Did you win? Did he win?
Did you get one by him?
Did you get one by him? Was his dad there cheering him on? Or did he boo him until his throat was sore? But not just that. I have to say that Shane Van Sickle came up with a great name for Cam Squire. Cam S. Preston Esquire.
Very nice.
That's a very
Bill
good
Ted.
one. There
very
you go.
Good. Nicely done. Nicely done.
That was a very good
You
one.
get points. It's like
Yes.
What was that game show where with the comedians on there? They would just talk about like things they would see on the internet.
Something in line. Come on. I used to love that show with Colin Mockery and
No, not Whose Line Is It Anyway? The one that was on Comedy Central with Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick.
It was just like comedians on, and they would talk about either way. They would just like give points out.
Oh, okay.
All the time. So Shane, you get points. You get points for that.
You get points. Points for you. You get Woo Bucks are in the mail.
Name of that. Yeah. I can't remember the name of that. Oh, At Midnight. I think that was the name of the show.
Socratic Method. Socrates. Oh, Socrates. Socrates. God, I haven't seen that movie in so long. Now I need to go watch that movie. And I haven't seen the newest one at all. But
I haven't seen it either. Yeah, I have to check that out. But yeah, we're gonna find out about that scandal and the findings relatively soon. Hopefully.
I hope it's before the season starts. I hope.
I think definitely.
Definitely. If they have the information and they're just sitting on it, I don't know what the purpose of just sitting on it is. Like, just put it out there already and just get it over with. I mean, who's ever involved in this situation, like, hopefully things are taken care of the way they need to be taken care of. I don't want to be a judge or executioner on any of this kind of stuff because, listen, it's not my place to say what happened or what punishments should be dealt out, but whatever the situation may be, whoever's found to be guilty, if they can't clear the name, then they should be punished accordingly. And it shouldn't just be a slap on the wrist. So it's a weird, tough situation. It sucks that one of our guys has to be kind of caught in the middle of this stuff. And as a fan, you don't ever want to see that. And it's the unfortunate side of sports and humanity. That's it. Like, there's just people do dumb things. People do horrible things. God, we can go off on a whole podcast just about that kind of stuff, but we don't need to do that. Try to spin the positive and hope for the best. But yeah, not a fun thing to think about or talk about or to even like ponder if somebody was capable of doing what some of the things that they were accused of doing. So,
right, and that's also where I think the Chris Tierney two-way. I mean, I know we were talking about it in our text, in our little group text. You know, it was odd to see them let Jesper Boquist walk, and he literally signed 1 year at the league minimum with Boston, and then you bring in Tierney instead for also the league minimum. But again, Jesper's contract was a one-way contract, and I really think that was the main sticking point there, that he didn't want to accept a two-way deal. And Tierney did. And if it turns out that our player has nothing to do with it and is not suspended, then I think Tierney will just, remain as kind of depth down there in Utica. Because, like I said, the center position, man, other than Graham Clark, we don't really have like any hotshot prospects down there. Everyone in the forward side is wings right now. And Graham Clark is the only one that's really, a young prospect who plays center. Maybe he might end up getting a shot sometime this year. Stillman's a winger. Holtz is a winger. Philman is a winger. Who else is that? Tice Thompson is a winger. So when you're looking at Nolan Foote, winger. If we're going to need a little help at the center position, possibly, Tierney. Don't forget Dawson Mercer also plays center. So that's someone else. Halla is strong. Lazar as well, who will probably slide into that fourth line role there. But we'll see, man. It's going to be, that'll be a big hit. And I guess it is a good question that Sam has posed here. Are the Devils Cup contenders? If you lose Ryan Graves, if you lose Damon Severson, you don't resign the point total of Tom Tatar. We know we kind of replaced that with Toffoli, but still,
that's one of the pieces of that puzzle that I think is fine. I think production top six are probably one of the most stacked top six in the league. If they stay healthy, if this team is healthy and they can be consistent, they will be one of the most dangerous top six in the whole league. But yes, losing Graves, losing Severson, and then having Lindy Ruff go out there,
possibly McLeod.
And possibly McLeod. I think the McLeod one is, and listen, that's unknown. We don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know if he's going to be suspended. We don't know if that's Miles Wood.
I mean,
these are
who's going to take penalties in the offensive zone if Miles Wood is not around? Come on, Beer Baron.
No, listen.
That's going to be an important part of our game that we're going to be missing there. Who is going to ruin our power plays by taking a penalty in the offensive zone? Please tell me who's going to fill that role.
It's going to be Lazar.
Lazar will not sniff the power play. Now he's going to punch Sam in the face. No, I mean, yes, losing some of those guys is going to be tough, and especially Lindy Ruff already came out and said that he's not 100% comfortable playing two rookies on the back end, and I don't expect him to have two rookies on the back end for the foreseeable future. Getting Miller was it about the same as Graves? Like maybe a step below Graves. Yes, Graves blocked a ton of shots. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. That side of the production,
he put up some points though too.
He did. He did. He put up some points. Nothing astronomical. I don't think it was going to be like, hey man, this guy is putting up. If we lost Dougie Hamilton, that's a way different story.
Obviously, yeah. I'm just going to look because I think I think Graves actually had a pretty. Keep going. I'm just going to look up his point total from last year.
Yeah. So defensively, I feel like you're gonna roll Hughes out there, and you're gonna see how it goes. You're gonna give Nemec one more year in the minors to really kind of flourish and become, come into his own. They make a run towards the end of the year. I wouldn't be shocked if they bring Nemec up towards the end of the year or, after the trade deadline. Maybe they move some things around. Maybe he's impressing people down in the AHL side where they're like, listen, this kid's ready. He's not going to be a liability. But you don't blame, you can't blame Lindy Ruff for saying that because it's true. You don't want your quote, quite literally your last line of defense to be two kids that were, not even able to drive last year. And the funny thing too is like, if there's a lot of people that are like, no, Hughes is ready. Okay. If you watched, and I think he's ready too, but if you watch that game against Carolina, I think it was either the first game that he played in that series, in the Carolina series, he made a terrible mistake, which directly led to a goal, where he made a bad change that directly led to a goal. And there was a few times where a couple people were pointing out that he wasn't really fully in position. The moment is very overwhelming. Understood. You're in the playoffs. Pressure is high. It's crazy. He's a young kid, just 2 games under his belt in the regular season at the very end of the regular season. So still not fully, acclimated to the defensive system and everybody else that he plays with. This year is going to be different. Full training camp, full preseason, going to the season. I think he will be ready to rock and roll, and I think he's going to impress. I honestly think, Connor Bedard aside, that Luke Hughes could be contending for the Calder, but it's not like I'm going on a limb saying that. The kid shows that he has the flashes and brilliance to be one hell of a hockey player. So I don't know, man. Like, listen, I still think that the Devils are contenders, big time. And we'll talk a little bit more about this because I see you want to say something, but I still think that there's like 1 or 2 little tweaks that they need to make to this team to make them this team can make a dead serious run deep into the postseason. But what do you have to say? I can see you itching.
No. I was just going to say Gravy had 26 points last year, 8 and 18. He was a plus 34.
And that's huge.
Season. That's huge. Especially he was playing, a lot of minutes against that top lines and stuff like that. But is it necessary for this team to make those sort of moves right now? Much like a few years back, we dealt with the forwards kind of growing and maturing in front of our eyes with Jesper Bratt and Nico Hischier, and Jack Hughes and Dawson Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason for this team to go out and try to make some sort of deals like that? Or is this the best time right now to just let Nemec, let Luke Hughes, let them play and get that experience a la what Nico and Jack and Dawson all had coming straight into the league, after they were drafted, and boom, learning at the top level from the get-go? Is it better for them?
I don't think it's a bad idea. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. At least one of them is going to be in the mix right off the bat, 100%.
Luke will be in the mix, 100%.
100%. And what's crazy is now with all the upfront loaded top 6 that we were talking about before, right? Now that you have Meyer, now that you have Hughes, you have Hischier, you have Toffoli, you have Bratt, you have Mercer. Don't forget you have Palat. You have a lot of firepower in this team. Are we going to be able to make up? Let's say we have a defensive breakdown and our goalie lets up a goal or 2. It's not going to feel as much pressure, or I feel like the offensive side of this team can carry us to like a 5-3, 5-4 victory. Where they can make up that little gap for some errors out there that the defensive side might make. At the same time, that also goes back to something that we talked a lot about last year. You look at the goaltending, right? The goaltending on this team with Vanacek and Schmid. I mean, there's reports that they want Schmid to play a ton down in the AHL side. So then who's the backup to Vanacek? There's a lot of reports saying that they're still in the mix for Connor Hellebuck or even Gibson. If that's the case, then is Vanacek a part of that deal? And if he is, like, then still that question of who's the backup to whoever they bring in going to be. Goaltending, I feel like during the regular season was fantastic. Vanacek really stood out and really took the reins as the number one goaltender. A lot of that had to deal with the fact that, Blackwood once again got hurt. And some of that also had to deal with, like, Schmid wasn't ready to be the number one, although he came in and played really well when he had to. And then obviously what he did in the playoffs. But going down the stretch, we saw Vanacek struggle.
He wasn't even the number one in Utica for most of the year until Nico Dawes got hurt.
Yeah,
it was Nico Dawes who was really I believe, as far as I recall, he was the one who was getting. I know they did split a lot, but he did get the majority of the starts. Nico Dawes was the only Comet to make the All-Star team last year for the AHL.
That's true. And it's not crazy, like how things kind of came and how everything kind of came together, how all the stars aligned for Akira Schmid. It's absolutely wild. But
by the way,
that's the big question.
Real quick,
go ahead.
Well, real quick, I just want to say what's up to our boy Campbell out there in New Zealand. It's lunchtime tomorrow for him right now. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Hope you're enjoying your Monday right now. Cross the old date line there, and him and Ray Leo and our buddy Sam Wu were talking about Devils goaltending, which we've kind of just naturally transitioned into it. I would much rather prefer to see Vanacek and Akira up at the NHL level doing as best a platoon as you can get. So now here's another question, because in every sport, you play the hot hand. But we talked about it last week. We saw Vanacek run out of gas at the end of the year, at the end of the regular season. Yeah. He was out of gas. He looked just completely lost in the playoffs. Do you give him more of an accurate platoon, and do you not fall into that superstition of like, well, we won 3 in a row, better keep Vanacek in there, for this run until he loses? Or do you really make that hardline call of being like, no, you just played 3 games. We need to get Akira Schmid in for the next 2, like that's where I think a lot of this can kind of like, because like you're saying, the offensive side of this team is going to win you a bunch of games.
Yeah, hopefully. So that should be the case. On paper, that's the case.
On paper. Right. As long as, barring injuries or, some sort of New York Mets-like disaster where you get hit in the face with a pop-up that you can't track.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood. By the way, what's up, Peter? How you doing? He says, what's up, Scotty and crew? So what's going on, Peter? I seriously might actually change my name to and crew at some point.
You should.
I should.
You should get it tattooed across your chest or your stomach, like
Tupac and crew.
Yeah.
With that fancy ampersand and.
Yeah. Or Tommy Lee with the mayhem across his stomach. That's what you should do.
Yeah. Exactly. And to Matt Salmon, to kind of like address that, we weren't saying Schmid to the AHL. There was actually reports from the team saying that they might start him in the AHL. So it's not that we want that to happen. I feel like, we both agree about the platooning of both Schmid and Vanacek. But the problem is there's a couple different things that could happen, and you don't want to overthink it. You brought up a great point, like, do you ride the superstition? If a goaltender's hot, do you stick with them? Well, goaltenders are also creatures of habit, and they're also, creatures of rhythm. So, like, if you take a guy out of the lineup just because it's, his day to quote-unquote rest, you'd be screwing up his timing and his rhythm. If he's really on, you don't want to take him out and then put somebody who hasn't played in a couple games into a game where they're going to be playing cold. And then vice versa. So let's say you have Vanacek playing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Games.
Do you keep a hard platoon? Is that better? because then you limit the number of games they played. And we obviously saw it last year at the end of the year. Vanacek was out of gas. The tank was empty. He was
but how do you
his way through there.
So at the beginning of the season, you have a giant calendar, and you say, all right, all the squares that are red, those are days that Vanacek starts, and all the squares that are green are the days that Schmidt starts. It's not, in the grand scheme of things, if you really think about that as being a real possibility where they know what games are going to start, where it's not going to be like, all right, hey, listen, you played like crap yesterday, you're not playing tonight. We're going to put in the other guy, because that could be a confidence killer, right? Instead, it's like, listen, you played like crap last night, but you're still scheduled to go out there and play. So you go out there, you shake it off, and you go play your ass off. So having them know
help.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. Listen, I
talk
don't know
about creatures of
how
habit.
they structure this. Yeah, I don't know how they structure any of this stuff. I don't know, we don't have the Shorts guy here to tell us if this is a good idea or a bad idea. He's on,
because wouldn't that be a good break mentally? If you're like,
tonight.
All right, I'm penciled in for the next 2. That's where I really have to focus right now. These next 2, because sometimes you could probably, I know, one shift, one game at a time, everything, but like, definitely there are times, it happens to everybody, where you can get a little ahead of yourself in your brain, And now if you're only like, okay, I'm focusing on the next 2, and now I have a break. That might be something that really helps a goaltender.
Yeah. Matt also just said something really interesting. Long gone are the days of Marty playing 70 games, 70 plus.
Oh yeah.
70 plus. And that's wild too. Like, you think about it.
We had
76
no
games in the
this.
season.
Yeah, Marty's going to play like 15/16 of the season there. There we go.
How many games straight has he played? 35. 35 games straight. Actually, I would love to look that up. Like, what was the longest stretch he went without having a break? Like, how many games did he play straight? You know what I mean?
Like, did Van Viesbroek? Wasn't it Van Viesbroek that was like the backup goalie one year?
2000. And that was the year they lost to Colorado.
Oh, that's when they lost to Colorado. But like, didn't he like not play enough games to like even be eligible to have his name on the cup or something?
No, I think it's different. Like, as a backup goaltender, I think it's different because you're technically you're on the squad. That would have been funny because they're expecting to at least play 10. I think he played like 6 or 7 games that entire year. Which by the way, if you think about that tandem, you have Brodeur and Van Biesbroek as your goalie tandem. That's like one of the most insane goalie tandems of all time. And I mean, Van Biesbroek, you feel bad for the guy because he's one of those dudes that he could have won. I think in '96 was it with the Florida Panthers.
The Panthers. Mm-hmm.
And then when he lost
Colorado
with the Devils,
took
like
him out, right? Was it the year Colorado won or Detroit?
Detroit.
It's
your Detroit one. Yeah, it's one of those insanely good Detroit teams that we miraculously beat in '95.
It was Colorado in '96.
Was it Colorado?
I thought, yeah.
And Detroit was '97. Detroit was 97 or 98.
Yeah,
97.
They were both right. And that when they went back to back.
Yes.
And that was Claude was on that 96 team or the 95 team
with the Avalanche. Yeah.
Poor Van Biesbroek got crushed by the Avalanche twice. That sucks. You think he hates them?
Yeah,
you think he hates them?
I thought I remember something like that where like he wasn't even eligible for some, or maybe it was like the President's Trophy he wasn't even eligible for or something because he only played like 6 games the entire year. Or maybe it was the Jennings. Maybe it was I don't remember what it was. It was something like that.
I think it was the Jennings. I think it was the
Was
Jennings.
it the Jennings?
Yeah. Because if you back up in the playoffs and you're technically on the roster, just I think
it was the Jennings trophy that.
And Brodeur took it all.
I just remember seeing that. Yeah, Brodeur took everything.
Yeah, I'll take that trophy. Thank you very much. I'll take that.
But Marty,
I was there with you the whole time.
75.
Yeah, but that's got to be easy money to be Marty's backup that year when you're only playing like 4 games.
It's like being a punter on the Kansas City Chiefs. You go out there like once every 5 games. You're like, whoa, I remember how to do this. Yeah, dude. Being a backup to Marty. And who was the other goaltender around that time that used to play like Hope used to play like a crazy amount of games. He used to play like 70 games.
The other way, yeah.
Who is it that there's another goalie. Oh my god, this is gonna kill me because it's like a big name too. Kiprusoff. Kiprusoff went into when he was in Calgary.
Oh, Mika?
He was like a dude that played. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a dude that played like 70 plus games a year too. I think it was Kiprusoff.
Wow, Steven Engel.
I have. By the way, Steven, I have a Jim Carrey rookie card when he was on the Capitals. Rookie, it was like Topps rookies or something like that. I found all my old baseball cards and all my old hockey cards and stuff like that. I have some really good hockey cards in there too. I got some like these hologram Gretzky ones that came out. Who knows if they're worth anything? Probably sitting on a gold mine right now. Wouldn't even know it. I need to get my almanac out. Take a look at them.
Man. But yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do with this goalie situation. Again, is it better for Akira to be down in the AHL, or is it better for him to take his reps up at the NHL level and get used to that play?
Beckett's Guide. Peter, you're the man. Thank you. Beckett's Guide. Everybody here that used to lived in the 90s, when you were a kid in the 90s, everybody had the Beckett's Guide. It's a big, thick book. And you always thumb through it. And you take out your baseball cards and be like, "How much is my Don Mattingly worth?" You're like, "Oh, it's $1.50. Suck it." But
$1.50.
Beckett's Guide. Damn, man, I can't believe you pulled that out.
That's when you pull out like the Ken Griffey Jr. card and realize it's his second year, not his rookie card, and you're like, no!
Although I do have a Derek Jeter draft card, which it's in like mint condition. So one of these days I got to find like one of those places. I don't even who knows if they even exist anymore. Anybody out there know any card shops in the greater state of New Jersey? And
there gotta be plenty. It's called Google. See this thing on your phone? This little magic computer that's in your pocket? Yeah.
This thing.
Use that. Baseball card store. I bet you a bunch of them pop up.
Felix Potvin, man. Oh, man.
I actually just drove by one earlier today, to tell you the truth.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I was trying to go hit some golf balls.
And I played golf the other day.
Oh, dude. I didn't even get the friggin' place was packed. I was just like, if I wait here, I'm never going to make it back for the podcast. Like, I was just waiting like at the driving range. There was just so many people out. It was crazy.
So you have a full set of clubs? We're going full off the rails right now. Do you have a full set of clubs out there or no?
Yeah.
You golf how many times a year?
I'm not very good. No.
Neither am I. I play like Happy Gilmore.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
My mid-range game, like if I'm in the fairway or if I'm like hit my irons, I'm great. Can't tee off worth a damn. Although when I connect, I crush it. I can if I connect,
sliced,
a perfect shot,
right? Whatever. Mine goes like, oh yeah, and then it just cuts to the right, and I'm like, oh, that sucks. It only went like 50 yards. Great.
Oh, I boomed it.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. My 9-iron, I'm great, but I remember calling my nephew, who's like a big golfer. He's like on the like junior PGA. He grew up on a golf course basically. It was in his backyard, so he played all year. And I was like, yeah, I could hit my 9-iron like nobody, And he's just like, yeah, it's the easiest club to swing. And I'm like,
yeah.
Thanks,
that
Jack.
and 7.
Thanks.
7's the best club to have in the world. You watch the movie Tin Cup, you can do a whole round with a 7-iron.
Just keep dropping the ball.
Just keep
not listening to poor Cheech.
Nope, not at all. You're just throwing it away, man. You're just throwing it away. Steven Engel. I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to have a rod crew. I'm 41, so in the 80s, you get a pack of cards, and there's always a Rod Carew card in there. Always. That's how it felt. That guy was like, he popped up in every single deck of cards he had. You're like, oh, it's Rod Carew in his Angels outfit. Uniform.
I remember I used to get, what's his name from the Yankees all the time? Mike Pagliarulo.
Pagliola, yeah.
Pagliola, whatever the hell his name was. Yeah. I used to get his card
Yep.
in every baseball package I think I ever got.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
this guy again.
And Steve Balboni.
Steve
Balboni.
I was gonna say,
Rick
Balboni
Cerrone.
was,
That was another one. You're
yeah.
like, oh, Rick Cerrone, come on.
Who wants a Rick Cerrone? Somewhere Rick Cerrone's pissed off. He's like, I heard my name again.
Andy Hawkins.
Listen,
Andy I don't even know that one.
Pitched a no-hitter and lost. You don't remember that?
That's like the
that the one
nowadays.
The guy he walked in somebody, right?
They lost 4-0, the Yankees. And Andy Hawkins actually pitched a no-hitter. Look it up.
I'll look it up. I'll use my magic computer in my pocket. I'll Google it.
Wait, Clint who?
Goaltending.
He's getting Clint Malarchuk. Is that before or after the neck incident?
Why do you have to mention that? Why do you have to mention that?
Because that was the defining moment of his career.
Yeah, did you cut open the wrapper?
If that was his baseball card or his hockey card picture,
I got
cut open the deck of cards,
shooting out.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ!
A skate off in the corner, you know, and then there's like blood shooting out.
You didn't realize it had the parental advisory. Yeah, it had the parental advisory sticker on the front of the cards before you bought them. Oh my God! This is crazy.
Darren Poopa, the Poopa Scoopa.
Yeah.
Wow. Some old names. I think actually I have a Lindros draft card when he had the Nordiques jersey
that might be worth something. Bring it to that card place you walked past.
Probably
today.
not anymore. I have no idea. I remember when one of my cousins gave it to me from. I have a bunch of family down in Philly, so they had a bunch of stuff. But it was like he already had it like in a case and crap like that, you know, like.
Great segue, because all I have to say, hold on. Sam was writing us stuff and we didn't pay attention whatsoever.
Oh,
Sam, how about yourself? Pretty good. Tonight, you mean this afternoon? I'm just stopping for lunch. What? I don't.
We already talked about Campbell.
Did we? Oh,
yeah.
Yes, we did. Wait. So Bing! Sam sent something in our
memory.
I've been clean for a while. The trade on this day 31 years ago today. On this day 31 years ago today, the Philadelphia Flyers received Eric Lindros. The Quebec Nordiques received, this is insane, Peter Forsberg, Ron Hextall, Steve Duchesne, Kerry Huffman, Mike Ricci, Chris Simon, $15 million, Ricci, $15 million of cash, a 1993 first-round pick, which I got to zoom in to see what that says, which was, here's another goaltender, Jocelyn Thibault, and then a 1994 first-round pick, which was Nolan, I can't see, it's too small.
Baumgartner?
That is something like that. That is one of the most insane deals I've ever heard in my life.
I know a better one.
Who was the GM of the Flyers that day?
Bobby
Clark. I think they threw in like an '84 Yugo as well. You know, like just
hey, you want this 91 Camaro with the T-tops? We'll throw it in. It's got a fresh paint job and everything. You might want to do some donuts in the parking lot, you know.
Eric can drive around Philadelphia in style.
Ew, boys.
Is an 82
IROC
Camaro.
That classic IROC. We got the
the IROC
naked lady air freshener. Got the naked lady air freshener hanging from the old rear mirror.
And an 87 Chrysler LeBaron with John Voight's pencil in the glove compartment. Oh, man.
Look at the teeth marks.
Look at the teeth marks.
Oh, my God. I think that might be one of the most
John.
That might be one of the most insane deals I've ever heard in my life. And Eric Lindros. Eric Lindros is good. He was great. He was really good. But damn, And obviously, you didn't know what but yeah, no, he could not.
Not the era to put your head down skating up the ice.
Yeah, and they didn't know what Forsberg was going to turn into. They didn't know what any of the, a few of those guys. That is insane. The amount that they gave up for him, absolutely insane. Imagine when
you let 6 people go 6 for 1. The odds are not in your favor that it's good.
And $15 million in cash. That's like one of the craziest parts about it. It's like they're like, all right, so what are you going to give us? And they're like naming off players. They're like, you want Hextall? You got him. You want this guy? You got him. No problem. You want this guy? Oh no, yeah, you got it. And it's like, yeah, okay, keep going. What else can you give us? And I bet you the guys in Nordiques were like, oh, these morons on the other line. What are they? Stupid. Hold on. Well, I got to trick them. $15 million in cash. And they're like, yeah, you got it. All right. Yeah, that sounds great.
It probably equated to, you know what they probably did? I don't think they just gave a numerical number. I think basically said, and you pay for our payroll for next season. Or something like that.
That's insane.
Yeah. But do you know what trade 30 years later was pretty insane?
What?
John Marino coming to the Devils.
Wait, 30 years later. Oh, 30 years later. I see what you're saying. Yeah, Marino for Ty Smith. And
I'm trying to keep it Devils related. You were talking Flyers.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Trying to get you back in,
baby.
All right.
Yeah, that Marino.
I'm glad we don't have or do we have a just by God, terrible trade like that in our history?
We have a lot
where
of
we
dumb
traded
signings.
away like so many people for. Do we have a trade like that in our history?
Would you count Kovalchuk as being a dumb trade? I don't think so, because I think Kovalchuk was great for the short amount of time that we had.
But you gave up what, a Duya?
Yeah, they didn't give up much.
Nicholas Bergfors or something like that.
Yeah,
they didn't give up much. It was a decent deal.
Yeah,
but it's still the way it ended.
Well, yeah, that wasn't pretty, obviously. But he did have good seasons with us. We got 2012. We went to the Cup. I mean, we got steamrolled by the Kings that year. But
I mean, we've had bad
I wouldn't say we got. I would retract that statement. I don't think the Devils got steamrolled in that series. I think they got outplayed in 2 of the games in that series, and that was it. They lost in overtime on a Kopitar breakaway in Game 1. And I think one of the other games is an overtime game, too. I think it was closer than you think. Could have gone either way if they won one of those first 2 games.
Maybe, yeah. I still think the Kings were destined that year. They were just
Sup, Ted.
They were so dominant just in the playoffs and everything.
Well, they were a team that that's because we were a 7, they were an 8. Or we were 6,
we were 7?
They were an 8. We were 6 or 7. No, we were an 8. But that team didn't deserve to be an 8th seed at all. Like they were ridiculously good, but they had injuries throughout the season and just underachieved throughout the entire year. And then they got to the playoffs and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're an absolute juggernaut with like the amount of talent that we have," and they just steamrolled people.
Who'd we trade for Steve Bernier?
Hey, happy early birthday, Ted!
Thanks, Steve, for the boarding call, or was it charging? Which one did he get? Boarding or was it charging? 5-minute major.
He got boarding 5-minute major.
Boarding, right?
Which is a BS call. And listen, something that Devils fans will talk about until we're blue in the face is that call was terrible. We shouldn't have let up a couple of goals during that 5-minute penalty, but at the same time, it was still a BS call. Especially the fact that Gianta...
The three goals we let up during that major penalty wasn't good either.
Didn't help the situation.
Too bad they don't have replay of that. That they could have.
Well,
because
the problem
years
too is
later,
Gianta got leveled into the boards in a basically the same exact style of hit, and there was no call on it. I don't think at that point it would have helped us, but still, if we would have got a 5-minute power play, we could have done something.
I thought you were talking about Gianta's icing. If they gone back to the replay, that would have been negated.
Yeah, that too.
There's
a lot of sketchy calls in that series, but
they were paid off.
They were. Remember what the Kings did? Ted. You remember what the Kings did? How they had those giant inflatable Jersey Shore rats outside of the Staples Center.
Yeah.
Like that was supposed to insult New Jersey.
Yeah.
we give a damn about
those
that.
Stupid people in L.A. Ugh.
Yeah.
Except for Scotty. Oh, did I ever tell you this story? Did I about the Kings that series? What happened with their PR guy?
No,
I never told you this story. Oh, so during that series, when I was with Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, I was my email was on the list, the distribution list, for PR, and then it was the Devils, Kings, all that, and the LA Kings PR person accidentally sent an internal email to everybody in the press that's on this email thread, and I still have it. And it was basically it was an internal email telling the other staffers, okay, they did this in Jersey, so during intermission, when they give out the stats to the coaching, that they're going to accidentally have a copier problem and wouldn't give the Devils coaching staff, all the stats and all the information that should be provided to them by the league, and that actually went out to people in the media. You guys don't remember that story?
No, not really. Oh. I blocked out a lot of that series.
Oh, okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, that year, like the beating the Rangers in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals was like the culmination of everything that we could have possibly have done. And it was like we got to. I'm not even gonna lie. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, I was not as enthusiastic as I normally would be because I felt like I was coming down from such a high where I was like, oh yeah, oh crap, I forgot. Yeah, we gotta show up to this game. And it was like it was fun, it was great, and it sucked that we lost. Like it was horrible that we lost. But when they went down 3-0, like I honestly had a feel like they came back and they won those 2 games. I was like, oh my god, I really felt confident that team was going to make a comeback. Like I just had a feeling in my stomach. I'm like, oh man, these guys are they're going to make this happen. They're going to be the first team in history to come back from a 3-0 deficit and win a championship. And it's going to be like the most epic thing in the world. Marty's going to retire. He's going to that's going to be it. He's going to retire after this game 7, like amazing shutout victory. And it all mapped out in my brain. But the Kings had other plans. So, and so do those refs, those bastards.
Oh, I'm still mad about that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
guess we should move into
final
thoughts.
Go ahead. No, nothing. No, just saying final thoughts.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll say happy birthday to our boy Ted. Tomorrow, Big Teddy. Anyone else got some birthday action going on? We'll give you a shout. Thank you everyone for listening, for tuning in. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever the hell Sam Woo's got this thing posted up. I don't even know half the time anymore. But thank you for listening. We truly appreciate it. From my final thoughts, I'm starting to actually, look at this minor league team as well. And where are we going to fill in some of the holes and some of the depth now that's kind of, it's a little light. It's a little light at the AHL. Are we going to see, we're still, what's his name? Grizzlick, right? Or Grizyuk, whatever his name is. He decided he's going to stay in Russia. Gritsik.
Yes.
Now you're without Zetterland. And, oh my God, why can't I think of his name now?
Boquist.
Who else did we trade over to? What? Boquist.
Mahamadulin.
Who else didn't they trade someone else over in that trade?
For Timo?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Andre
Zetterlund,
Johnson?
Timo Meyer, a first round pick, Andreas, don't call me Johnson. and that's it. I think it's a 3
Ahoy Took as well.
Oh, Ahoy Took. Yes.
There's another one that was taking up, big time minutes there at the AHL level. And then we talked about Seamus Casey is not going to be with the Comets. He's going back to Michigan. So we do have the prospects, but that Utica team is looking a little. So just looking to see where we're going to fill out over there as well. And I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm all about this season with let the young kids learn on defense and let them get that experience because the forwards are ready to rock. And we just need to catch up some of those young defensemen as well. Kevin Ball, first time really in these big shoes. Luke Hughes.
Big shoes.
I know Sam Wu won't say Damon Severson skates are big ones to fill, but we're looking at you, buddy, to fill those skates on the offensive side. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly where this team lines up, but I'm really excited, and I really think that they shouldn't go out and get any more pieces. Let these young kids play on defense and let them learn at the NHL level. That's my thinking, and I'm going with Sam Wu as the 2025 will be the year to win.
My final thought is I want to say a big thank you to all the people out there that listen to the show on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, like Scotty said, on every other platform that you can think of, on Twitter, everything else. We want to be able to interact with you guys more often. So if you ever have questions, be more than happy to, talk to you. But it's fun to watch the chatter. And I hope you understand, like when we're doing the show, we're actually looking down at our phones a lot because we're looking at what everybody's saying. One of my favorite things is to see the interaction. I'm primarily on YouTube Live because I don't have multiple screens. I'm not, rich with the woo bucks like Sam over there. So I only have my
What
phone.
does that have to do with anything?
Because I only have one phone and it's only got one thing, and I don't want to scroll back and forth between the two. It's hard, man.
That's what I do. It has nothing to do with being rich.
Yeah, but my network stinks, and I'm not going to talk about who my cell phone carrier is, but it crashes every once in a while. Anyways, my point being, it's really fun to watch the interaction between you guys. It's like we're building a nice little community too, because it seems like every week there's always like a, hey, what's up this guy? Hey, what's up that guy? How's everybody doing? So there's a familiarity with that.
Sam eats very rich.
He's very rich. He does eat very rich.
Yeah.
Triple lobster tail. Lobster
rich vegetables.
He's moved up from the catfish, from the bottom feeder one, onto like
back on our 4 days.
Tails. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be Mr. Pink.
Yeah, I think everybody liked my beefalytics post, with that big prime rib that I put up yesterday. Right. Yeah.
What nobody saw is if you zoom into that picture, you can see the gold flaking that they put on that special. And, rich man steak. How was it Wagyu? Was it Wagyu you were eating there?
No, it's just
I'll have the milk steak, my good man.
The milk steak.
And what we have aside, jelly beans.
Here we go. The last thought of the day is I was at the local brewery right down the street from my house, which I absolutely love, Chilton Brewery. And I asked the bartender if they had any Skittle Brow. And he's like, the hell's Skittle Brow? And I'm like, never mind. Just give me a beer and a pack of Skittles. I'll make my own. And if you know that reference, then you're a friend of mine. With that being said, have a good night. And thank you, guys.
Couple things. Final thoughts. One person we did not discuss is the one that came back from the Timo Meier trade that's making a good impression is Hataka, which could be interesting.
Steal.
Yeah, the fleece. There could be more fleecing later down the line on that trade, but we shall see as he develops as a player. Also, sad news, Billy McMillan, first Devils head coach in the history of New Jersey Devils, passed away at the age of 80. And Chico Resch, if you haven't seen it, Matt Lachlan, if you go to his Twitter account, put out a tweet about Chico's thoughts because I guess they were teammates with the Islanders as well. And go over to Twitter and follow Matt Loughlin's Twitter account, but you can see it on there. And, I said this a few years ago that, I should go back in the archives and kind of find that audio, Scotty. But there was a time where the Devils lost 17 out of 19 games. And I said, 2025, that's what it's going to be. 2025, and that was a few years ago. And I remember Scotty's like, what? A few more years of this?
Yeah. Now I see the destiny in the writing on the wall, Sam Wu. I think you were correct all along.
And
wait, is that a sports almanac in the background I see over there by you?
Yes. Next to Scotty's flux capacitor. What's that about? And a broken
and the
cane.
Hoverboard.
Yeah.
And a hoverboard.
I'll start making arrangements with the Newark PD to ride on the back of a horse during the parade.
Yes.
When we win in 2025. That's my
Are
goal.
Woo Bucks actually food bucks? Depends.
Why is everybody commenting on my eating habits? Jeez.
Because you post the pictures of the food.
I just post pictures of food.
Mrs. Wu
and you talk about
happy. And we want Mrs. Wu happy.
Jeez.
Mrs. Wu's upset.
If you didn't talk about it, if you didn't post about it, people
air.
would not care about it. Yeah. Anyways, maybe next week you'll tell us who the inside source is about the Alexander Holtz being the next Ovechkin. But that's for another time. Another time, another day.
Hey Sam, Wu, are you on Threads yet? Are you have you taken over your hockey heel?
I haven't
hockey heel.
I'm still not done with Twitter yet.
You're still not done with Twitter?
Actually, matter of fact, that's one of the first questions because I had never met Trey Matthews ever. That was the first time we've ever met when we had dinner, and that's probably question number 2. So do you really think that Alexander Holtz is the next Alexander Ovechkin? And I just started laughing.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take.
I should have been just go to season 6, episode 35, and listen to it. Anyway.
Do you got another hot take, Sam? Hot takes with Sam Wu. Instead of hot ones, we could do hot takes with Sam Wu.
Yeah.
Where Sam just has to eat salad instead of wings. He's got to eat salad the whole time, until, I don't know, something happens. With extra spicy dressing.
Trying to find that music. I'm trying to find the music right now.
I'll make music. Da-da-da-da-da-da! It's Hot Takes with Sam Wu. There you go.
Tonight's Hot Take brought to you by American Whiskey. Trying to think of a hot take.
Hot takes you don't think about. They just happen. It's like strikes of lightning.
Remember that time you talked about taking the Rangers out behind the barn and shooting them? Remember that?
Well, taking the Rangers.
Take them out behind the barn. You gave him the old yeller. So what kind of hot take can you old yeller this?
You're putting the man on the spot. He's just got to come up with it on the.
Chris Tierney's going to win the Selkie. How's that? We'll forget about we'll forget about the player he replaced. Anyway, just jokes.
Okay.
All right. Found the music. I'll see you later. We are way.
It's hot takes.
Yeah, we'll have hot takes.
It's hot takes. We're gonna make this into a segment. So start thinking of some good hot takes for next week, Sam Wu.
Okay. All right. Want to thank everybody for tuning in the YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Nice to see Ray Leo again in the Facebook Live.
We missed you, Ray.
Yeah. And Twitter Live and wherever we are, dropping the podcast at midnight for your morning and afternoon commute. As the season rolls on, big things happening for Season 7 coming up in about a month and a half. Until next time, let's go Devils.